Hello everyone and welcome to my Y&R Insider 24 update channel. Victoria stands up to Billy, cricket models, Victor plots, and more. The Young and the Restless. Best of the week. Vicky and Jack did a mini intervention on The Young and the Restless image, CBS. Sally Spectra may love Billy Abbott, despite his bad habits, but nobody knows Billy better than his ex-wife, Victoria Newman, as evidenced by last week's powerhouse scenes. Heinley slayed as Victoria ripped Billy a new one for falling off the gambling wagon and falling back into bad habits. With Jack's support, Vicky berated Billy into nearly changing his mind about allying himself with Kane. Alas, Billy's too focused on his goals. Someday Claire may realize Kyle wasn't all that bad on The Young and the Restless image, CBS. Kyle Abbott is showing a great deal of patience. Claire's kind of pushing her boyfriend away, and she's a tad hypocritical, too. Vicky was on Kyle's side over the whole "if I hurt Claire, I'll pay Victor $5 million and leave town" thing. But Claire. She felt left out of Kyle's decision. Run, Kyle, run. The Young and Restless. Moments. Lily and Devon have each other's back on The Young and the Restless image, JPI. It's nice that Lily and Devon have a nice, supportive relationship, as evidenced by Devon encouraging her to make a fresh start. The late Neil is smiling down from heaven, knowing these two are watching out for each other. Victor, Eric Braeden, will surprise no one when he emerges victorious on The Young and the Restless image, CBS. Whoa. What was that scene at the top of a show in which Victor talked out loud and said he had a way to triumph over Jack, Kane, and Billy? Have the corporate wars ended before they ever truly got started? It was painful watching Sally walk out on Billy, but Sally knows that it's better to deal with some pain now than have to deal with a great deal more in the future should Billy not change his wicked ways. The Young and Restless. Scenes. On The Young and the Restless, Billy will push Jack, Sally, Diane, Susan Walters, and everyone else away image, JPI. Jack, Sally, and Vicky are wise to be worried about Billy. In the scenes where we saw Billy alone and talking to himself, it became quite clear that he's gone off the deep end. Kai Kim, the director of the episode in which Billy was particularly antsy, employed some creative directing techniques that highlighted the Abbott heir feeling frantic and at loose ends. Did you vote for which wedding gown you'd like to see Christine wear in November on The Young and the Restless? Image, CBS. Kudos to Y&R for coming up with a way to involve fans in the show's storyline. Christine modeled 3 wedding gowns that Lauren selected for her on Friday's show. While voting is now closed, fans could weigh in on which of the gowns they'd like to see Cricket walk down the aisle in as she and Danny prepare to spend the rest of their lives together. The scenes were more than just a throwback to Chris's modeling days. Chris lent Lauren a sympathetic ear as she was concerned about Michael going back to work for Victor. It's always nice to see Jack and Nikki together on The Young and the Restless. They're the gold standard when it comes to ex-spouses remaining friends. Danny wants his son, Daniel, to be happy on The Young and the Restless image, JPI. Danny continues to be TV's most supportive dad. We love seeing him give Daniel some fatherly advice. Daniel's too hard on himself, so Danny gently nudging him towards a life he deserves is a nice dynamic to see. Notables. Esther, Kate Linda, knows Lily's coffee order by heart on The Young and the Restless image, CBS. Esther, please, read the room. Talking about Claire having too much to drink with another guy in front of her boyfriend, Kyle, was not subtle. Sharon Case, can't be on The Young and the Restless enough as far as we're concerned. Where's Sharon? Have she and Nick already left for Los Angeles? Clearly, she needs to start hanging around Chancellor Park since that's where a lot of people seem to be these days. The Young and the Restless. Quotables. Claire tells Kyle that Holden's just trying to help. Kyle, that's Holden. All about helping people. Vicky, Amelia Heinley, and Jack, Peter Bergman, tried their best with Billy, Jason Thompson, on The Young and the Restless image, CBS. Billy to Vicky, I apologize if I'm a little irritated. Vicky, a little? Lily to Kane, there is no you and me, Kane. He asks if there's a chance, poor choice of wording, of a future reconciliation on The Young and the Restless. Lily, it's never going to happen. Kane, never is a long time. There is no going back, Lily stated. Cain and Lily of old are no more. The young and the restless. Fashion. Christine wasn't the only vision in white last week on The Young and the Restless. Her bestie Lauren looked fabulous in a white, linen blend ensemble by Donna Karan. Check out the details on the outfit here. What do billionaires currently wear? Check out Cain's zigzag cardigan on The Young and the Restless here. Christine's lace wedding dress has the vote of at least one power player in daytime. Check out the second dress the bride-to-be tried on here. The Young and the Restless. Musings. Daniel, Michael Graziardi, is at a crossroads on The Young and the Restless. Image, CBS. Catherine Chancellor, the late, great Jean Cooper, would be pleased to know that Chancellor Park, which is named in her honor, is the meeting place for some many wonderful scenes on The Young and the Restless. Case in point, Daniel, Michael Graziardi, and Mariah, Cameron Grimes, had a heart-to-heart about him looking after Tessa while she's gone. We can see where this is going, with Mariah asking Daniel to look after Tessa, Kate Fairbanks. Why can't Mariah? Chancellor Park was also the setting for another important talk this week. Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, and Michael met there to hash out their differences. Why aren't Matty and Charlie making a beeline to their father Kane's side? He's a billionaire, and they might want to see if dear old dad is generous with his money. We know that the flashbacks take place in the past, but we gotta admit showing flashbacks in black and white is a creative technique. Works for us. We kind of like Sally with Billy, and Chelsea with Adam. But will Billy's falling off the wagon and Chelsea not supporting Adam cause another round of musical chairs for these four? We don't mean to sound like we're attacking Claire just because she isn't giving Kyle an inch. Let's see her do some of this therapy she said she's in on Y&R. Claire could talk to a therapist on the show, and she could find out why she doesn't trust Kyle. We continue to long for the presence of Matty and Charlie on the canvas. Their absence is glaring, given the number of times they are mentioned. We keep waiting for Chris to ask Lauren to be her maid of honor, and for Danny to ask Daniel to be his best man. Perhaps Harrison will return to the city in time to accept the role of ring bearer. Speaking of Chris, we see that cricket keeps popping up in press material and other references. Is Chris going back to her teen nickname on The Young and the Restless? Sounds good to us. On The Young and the Restless, Jack and Diane reside in a stunning mansion. Y&R is smart for regularly using the redone Abbott mansion. A lot of effort went into Diane sprucing up the place, and The Young and the Restless is getting its money's worth by showcasing the Abbott family home regularly. Is Cain running out of money? Billy might not always pay for his meal at Crimson Lights, Esther suggested. Want more of Y&R? Be sure to check out The Scoop for spoilers, daily recaps, 2 Scoops for weekly commentary, and The Young and the Restless page for Best of the Week and more features on Soap Central. Best of the Week, cricket models, Victor plots, Victoria resists Billy, and more. The Young and the Restless delivered another powerhouse week of daytime drama, filled with explosive confrontations, emotional reckonings, tender family moments, and clever nods to the show's long history. At the heart of the action was Victoria Newman, once again proving why she is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to her family, her business acumen, and her fiery instincts for survival. Victoria's blistering confrontation with Billy Abbott struck a deep chord, both with longtime viewers and with those who recognize the cyclical nature of Billy's struggles. Amelia Heinley shined in these emotionally charged scenes, as Victoria, a woman who has endured countless betrayals, heartbreaks, and moments of weakness in her ex-husband, once again stepped into the role of truth-teller. She didn't mince words, and in doing so, she reminded Billy and the audience that there are some people who simply know you better than you know yourself. She has watched him fall, rise, and tumble again far too many times, and this time she wasn't about to quietly let him throw his life away. With Jack at her side, Victoria made it clear that Billy's behavior had crossed a line, and Heinley captured every ounce of exasperation and protective instinct Victoria felt. This was a woman standing up not only for her children's father but also for herself, unwilling to let the cycle of chaos repeat endlessly. What made these scenes particularly riveting was Jack Abbott's quiet but firm presence. Peter Bergman brought his usual gravitas, playing the role of a brother who has loved Billy, enabled him at times, but ultimately recognized the danger signs flashing in front of them. One of those instances that highlighted the reason why Y&R continues to resonate with its audience after all these decades was the mini-intervention staged by Victoria and Jack. It wasn't just about family drama, it was about accountability, about facing one's demons, and about the people who love you enough to risk your anger in order to pull you back from the brink. Of course, true to form, Billy reacted with defensiveness, irritation, and stubborn determination to prove that he can handle things his way. Jason Thompson played the inner tug-of-war masterfully, Billy's bravado masking his insecurity, his charm failing to cover his self-destructive impulses. Though Victoria's words seemed to momentarily get through to him, the lure of his partnership with Kane was too strong. Billy's need to prove himself, to carve out his own destiny apart from his family's influence, once again clouded his judgment. And yet, the intervention set the tone for a week that would see Billy teetering closer to the edge, his relationship straining, and his future becoming increasingly unstable. Meanwhile, another storyline that had viewers buzzing was the ongoing tension between Kyle Abbott and Claire. Kyle, played by Michael Mealer, is becoming more patient by the day, but patience can only go so far when you feel like someone you care about is constantly undermining or dismissing you. Claire's hypocrisy and insecurity were on full display, and Hayley Erin brought a sharp edge to the character's choices. While Kyle is trying to build a life of stability and protectiveness, going so far as to agree to Victor's extreme stipulation of paying $5 million and leaving town if he hurt Claire, Claire herself seems more interested in keeping him on uneven footing. The irony of the situation wasn't lost on Victoria, who supported Kyle in the matter, pointing out that his willingness to sacrifice was proof of his devotion. Claire, on the other hand, couldn't help but feel slighted, excluded from the decision, and disconnected from Kyle's motivations. The situation left viewers shaking their heads. Here was a man bending over backward to prove his commitment, only to find his girlfriend doubting him at every turn. It left many wondering if Kyle should cut his losses before it's too late. The week also showcased softer, more heartwarming moments that balanced the high drama. Lily and Devon's sibling bond provided a respite from the chaos. Crystal, Khalil and Brighton James continue to embody the soul of Neil Winter's legacy, their relationship a constant reminder of the importance of family. Devon's encouragement for Lily to make a fresh start was a beautiful callback to Neil's guiding spirit, the late Christoph St. John's presence still felt through the characters' choices and values. These scenes were quiet, tender, and filled with unspoken love, a much-needed reminder that not every storyline has to be explosive to be impactful. And then, of course, there was Victor Newman. Eric Braeden has played the patriarch for decades, and the man still manages to command every scene with his mere presence. The mysterious monologue Victor delivered at the top of the episode, plotting his path to victory over Jack, Kane, and Billy, was classic Victor through and through. It was both ominous and exhilarating, a tease of the corporate wars that fans live for. While the show left viewers wondering if the battles were over before they truly began, one thing was clear: Victor's wheels are always turning, and when he sets his sights on victory, nothing and no one can stand in his way for long. His scheming presence hung over the week like a dark cloud, even as other storylines played out, a constant reminder that Victor's shadow looms large in Genoa City. The return of Christine "Cricket" Blair Williams to modeling was one of the week's most delightful surprises. Laura Lee Bell brought warmth and nostalgia to the scenes where Christine tried on 3 wedding gowns selected by her longtime bestie, Lauren. It was a clever way to integrate fans into the storyline, allowing them to vote on which gown they wanted to see Christine wear when she walks down the aisle to Danny later this year. But beyond the fun of fashion and fan engagement, these scenes carried emotional weight. Christine reminiscing about her modeling days was a touching callback to her history, while her compassionate ear for Lauren, who is worried about Michael returning to work for Victor, showcased the enduring depth of their friendship. Y&R has always excelled at weaving together past and present, and these scenes exemplified that strength perfectly. Balancing the nostalgia was the heartbreak of Sally walking out on Billy. Courtney Hope gave a moving performance as a woman who knows when to cut her losses, even if it means breaking her own heart. Sally's decision to leave was one of the most painful moments of the week, not because it came out of nowhere, but because it was inevitable. She recognized that Billy's patterns of behavior would only lead to more pain down the road, and though she loves him, she chose herself and her future over waiting around for him to change. It was a powerful moment of agency for Sally, and one that resonated with viewers who have watched loved ones struggle with self-destructive choices. The rest of the week was sprinkled with charming side stories and memorable moments that added texture to the larger arcs. Esther's loose-lipped comment about Claire drinking with another man was hilariously awkward. Sharon's absence was keenly felt, prompting fans to wonder when she'd return to the canvas, and Danny's tender guidance for his son Daniel reminded everyone why Michael Damian's character has endured for decades. Danny is the quintessential supportive father, nudging his son toward happiness without judgment, a refreshing dynamic in a show filled with conflict. Even the fashion moments carried weight, from Lauren's fabulous Donna Karan outfit to the buzz around Christine's lace wedding dress. These details serve as a reminder that Y&R is as much about style and glitz as it is about rival businesses and romantic relationships. And in the musings that closed out the week, viewers were treated to thoughtful nods to Chancellor Park, Catherine Chancellor's legacy, and the ongoing importance of family and history in Genoa City. All in all, this was a week that exemplified the very best of the young and the restless. It gave us drama, humor, nostalgia, heartbreak, and hope, all wrapped up in storylines that honored the past while pushing characters into new, uncertain futures. From Victoria's fiery stand against Billy, to Victor's ominous plotting, to Cricket's fashion throwback, the week reminded us why this soap remains a staple in daytime television. It knows how to deliver stories that matter, stories that connect, and stories that keep us coming back day after day, week after week.